winning this fight tonight with our name lit up in lights. We're the new kings, winning this fight tonight with our name lit up in lights.
Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. We've had our grill going for 75 years, and yep, it's still going. Whataburger, goodness 24/7.
It is time for week number 9 of this Texas high school football season, and welcome to Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger from inside the Globe Life Studios here at the beautiful Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Hek'ma Harrison this week. Hek'ma is filling in for Kyle Yeomans, who is on assignment this week. And Hek'ma, it's great to have you here. Hek'ma has been calling high school football for years. He's doing double duty this weekend and virtually every week during the season. In fact, got a doubleheader going for him. And Hek'ma this week, for the first time since about the first week or second week of the season, we're dealing with some weather on Friday night, some games being moved to Thursday as well. But we're here to get you caught up on everything that's going on as we are now jockeying for playoff position with just 3 weeks left in the season.
Oh, man, I love this part of the season because obviously the cream always rises to the top, and you start to see those teams that are going to make moves, but also some of those teams that have struggled, but getting hot at the right time, and that's where the teams it pays off in November. Who's going to play through Thanksgiving?
Yep, that's exactly right. And, of course, they play all the way almost to Christmas here in Texas in the state high school football playoffs. And how about this? It's week 9 of the season, and we've got some battle of unbeaten matchups. And we start with our Whataburger game of the week. And how about this one? We've been anticipating this one all season long. They certainly have, both in Allen and Prosper. Allen, the second-ranked team in the state, 7-0. 5-0 in district, the 7th-ranked team in the state, the Prosper Eagles, 7-0, 5-0. It doesn't get much better than this. And how about the season Lee Wigginton's Allen Eagles are putting together?
Man, they have absolutely dominated, and I think their defense has been one of the catalysts for the reason why they have been so dominant. But offensively, Jeremiah Dodd, their quarterback, is spectacular. And he's a guy that does it with his legs, but also does it with his arm. Their offense, to me, is must-see TV. As you see right there, man, they are absolutely dominating.
And how about this? Here are the numbers they're putting up this season. They have outscored their opponents 390 to 48. That's an average score of 56-7 for Allen.
That is outstanding. So, look, the Eagles will be in the building one way or another, right?
That's right, with the Allen Eagles against the Prosper Eagles. And how about Prosper head coach Tyler Moore? You're talking college D1 recruits, especially on that offensive line, with Zayden Crimpin headed to Texas A&M, Bryce Gilmore, number 10 offensive tackle recruit in the nation, committed to Texas Tech, and Sean Stover to Duke. Prosper, they have really put something together. It all started with a win over Austin Westlake the first week of the season.
Yeah, Braden Imhoff, their quarterback. Again, this is going to be a quarterback showdown, but you basically hit the nail on the head when you talk about the way that this Eagles team has played. They have a bunch of weapons on the outside and inside, but they're massive offensive line. Bryce Gilmore, you just brought him up, 6'5". 300 pounds. This kid is a mountain, and he is just paving the way for that running game.
Now, Prosper is 7-0 for the first time in school history, trying to get to 8-0. And by the way, we talk about how Allen has dominated its opponents this year. Prosper has put up some 386 points on the season, so they're averaging 53 points a game themselves. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a great matchup. Allen against Prosper. Prosper with the home field advantage. All right, let's move to Frisco ISD. Another battle of unbeatens as the Wakeland Wolverines take on the Lone Star Rangers.
Look, I like Wakeland's chances in this game. They have one of those teams that has snuck up on a lot of teams. Jaden Maples, their quarterback, again, a kid that is awesome, but their wide receivers, Grayson Meyer and Lucas Mangum, man, that dynamic duo, they really do stretch your defense out. But, Bill, they're going up against a Lone Star team that's really good also.
Yep. And Jaden Maples, by the way, the Wakeland quarterback, 23 touchdown passes, just 1 interception, completing 68% of his passes on the season. Jeff Rayburn has a dynasty going at Lone Star, and this may be one of his best teams.
And that's a mouthful to say, Bill, because he has had some outstanding teams. But you see it right there, Davian Gross and also Carice Hoyt. They are, look, you have to pick your poison, and Ryder mix as well. You see right there, man, just a gigantic young man. Their quarterback is a sophomore, Trey Wright, and he's a basketball player, but he is phenomenal, the way that he orchestrates that offense. And again, they do it on defense also.
Trey Wright, pretty good point guard, distributing the football on the football field as well. 76% completion percentage for over 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. But you mentioned those 2 athletes right off the top. Carice Hoyt is committed to Baylor. Davian Gross, one of the most highly recruited athletes in the country, with a commitment to Florida. In fact, the number 3 athlete in the nation.
Now, I saw them against Argyle, and you know how good Argyle is. They steamrolled Argyle earlier in the season. And look, when you talk with Coach Rayburn and he says this is one of the most athletic teams that I've ever had, I think that really just echoes everything that you said. The way that they get it done, Bill, they're rolling teams right now. And look, they're one of the most dangerous teams in 5A right now, and I don't know how you slow that down.
All right, let's go to District 11, 6A, the District of Doom, for the Battle of Beltline. It's a rivalry game. It's the Cedar Hill Longhorns against the DeSoto Eagles, and both these teams battling for playoff position right now, and Cedar Hill a great bounce-back year after going 3-7 last year under Nick Ward.
But you had it right, man. This is the District of Doom. It's so hard to get out of this, but they have their quarterback as well, Muhammad. He has 887 yards, but also they do it on the ground. Juelz Carter with 345 yards rushing, but also 6 touchdowns on the year. They have a defense in Jalen Brewster. This young man is a mountain. 6'4", 300 pounds in the interior. He's committed to Texas Tech, and also a junior, Jalen Price, on that defense. So Nick Ward has a defense that can get it done.
And Jalen Brewster, as you mentioned, a junior 2027 class, #1 defensive line recruit in the nation in that class. And how about Claude Mathis and what he's doing at DeSoto again this year?
Look, Claude Mathis knows that he has a great team, and he just needs his running game in Sarad Baker to show up to this affair also, because up against Duncanville, he had one heck of a game, but obviously the Panthers, they pulled that out. Legend Howe, their quarterback, he has to be composed because of Brewster and Price and company.
And Ethan Booby Feaster, the wide receiver, 4-year starter for them, #6 wide receiver recruit in the nation with 9 touchdown grabs this year, committed to USC.
Yeah, he is. You can't get out of talking about DeSoto without talking about Booby because of how talented this young man is. He goes up and he gets the ball, Bill. If the ball's in the air, he's going to get it, and that's why Lincoln Riley has flown all the way to Dallas, Texas to get this young man.
All right, and you talk about the District of Doom. You got 5 teams competing for the 4 playoff spots. Duncanville, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, and Waxahachie, all 3-1 in that district right now. Lancaster at 2-2. Back down in Class 5A, our final game of the week here in the first segment. District 3 5A, Division I, #1 ranked team in the state in 5A, the Aledo Bearcats, in search of their 13th state title, and they're traveling to Richland to take on the Richland Royals, who are having a nice season.
The only name that you need to know from Aledo is Caden Finley. Caden Finley is a monster. The Notre Dame commit is everything for them, but they also bring their defense as well. Chase Wilburn and company, Carson Dempsey at the defensive end. They on the ground, they get it done with their quarterback, Lincoln Tubbs, and Nash McEely, who has a 64% completion percentage.
And how about what Jed Cates has done at Richland, a team that went 10-3 last year, and behind their running back, Jayshon Fats Gibson, a junior, they are putting together a terrific season this year at 6-2, 5-1 in district.
That's what's eye-opening. And when you see Fats Gibson's numbers, 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, are you kidding me? But Brett Cates, I mean, you have a quarterback that also has thrown for 1,600 yards and also has 16 touchdowns. So, look, the Royals, they look good. they're just going to come up against a Bearcat squad that is used to winning at this part of the season.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Friday Night Stars. When we come back, it's the showdowns at the Star this week. We check in on Frisco ISD.
This segment was brought to you by Whataburger. Try the all-new Prickly Pear Raspberry Whata-Fresher, made with real raspberry. It's refreshing and ready for you now at Whataburger.
Let's check out this week's showdowns at the Star. Hek'ma Harrison is going to be headed down the Nike Star Walk to call this game tonight. Just moments away from kickoff, McKinney North Bulldogs against the Centennial Titans. And then on Friday night, the Memorial Warriors take on the Liberty Redhawks. Those are your showdowns at the Star. As we're welcoming you back here to Friday Night Stars inside the Globe Life studios here at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones with Hek'ma Harrison. Now let's take an up-close look at those Centennial Titans.
I don't know that I've ever been at a place where the kids are more enjoyable than here, and that's just not coach talk, that's the truth. They come to work every day. We have early morning practices and just good, wholesome kids, very good parents, involved parents, but let us do our job, and I couldn't ask for a better job.
Our identity of the Centennials offense is just stay balanced and just get our playmakers the ball in space.
Offensively, you know, I think Carter said it, we're trying to be balanced, but we're trying to, whatever the defense is trying to take away, those are the things that we're trying to do. I know we're going to play well, but we got to play well in all three phases to win this ball game. Special teams, offense, and defense. Whatever happens, go to the next play.
Playing at the Star is great. Just crazy experience being where the Cowboys practice. It's just awesome.
At the beginning of the season, you have a goal, right? And if you accomplish that goal, it's a great feeling to see those kids have success and, that you're part of that in some sense. And when they don't accomplish their goal, I think the other great thing about being a coach is that you're able there to build them back up. So regardless of whatever reason, whether they're successful or not successful, the best thing about coaching is that you get the opportunity to help kids grow.
Joe Castillo, head coach at Frisco Centennial, and Hek'ma, you're calling this game tonight. Here's a team just had 6 starters back from last season. They've got an opportunity here to improve on the record from last year.
And yes, they do. And I think Carter Hughes, when you saw that picture of that young man, he would be the reason why they improve on that record. A quarterback that absolutely gets it done with his legs also. And look, right now, Centennial has been really going uphill on this season. They got a tough road still to go.
All right, we have much more of Friday Night Stars to come. We're going to dip down into the private school ranks, one of the top teams in the entire state of Texas. Parish Episcopal featured when Friday Night Stars continues in a moment.
This segment is brought to you by Whataburger. Introducing the all-new Whataburger Bacon Wrangler Double. Big Texas flavor, made hot and fresh for a limited time, only at Whataburger.
Welcome back to Friday Night Stars. This is one of the most competitive districts in all of Texas, District 10-6A. Here you got 5 or 6 teams that are battling for the 4 playoff spots. In fact, the Heath Hawks play at Longview this week. They're 3-0, Heath is. You got Forney, you got North Forney, Longview, Rockwall, even Royce City's still in the hunt. But how about the game last week, Hek'ma Harrison, between Rockwall and Forney? Rockwall gets out to a 22-0 lead to start the game, but Forney, behind running back Javion Osborne, is able to come from behind to win this game 48-47, and Osborne, one of the most highly recruited running backs in the country.
He is so tough inside the tackles. I've called a few of this kid's games, and I'm telling you, Notre Dame is getting themselves a dog. Young man can do it on the power game. He can also catch passes out of the backfield as well. I mean, when you have one of those guys that's all-encompassing and has a game the way that Javion Osborne does, no wonder everyone in the nation wants him.
All right, 48-47 was that final score a week ago. How about a matchup last week? Parish Episcopal took care of Jason Witten's defending state champion Liberty Christian team 56-28. What a season Parish Episcopal is putting together, and Johnny Resendez has more.
We are past the midway point of the Texas high school football season, but history tells us that Parish Episcopal's campaign is just starting. The Panthers are used to playing late in the year because for them, making the state final is not a hope. It is 100% the expectation.
Team right now matured a lot, coming in, a lot of new transfers, so I'm kind of proud of how the way we've grown as far as companionship and just coming together as a team.
Last year, Parish Episcopal lost in the TAP state final to the Jason Witten-led Argyle Liberty Christian. But before that, they brought home a remarkable 5 straight championships a few months later, and the players say they are ready to once again reach the top.
Nothing's ever handed to us, and we come with that mentality every single day. Last year kind of left a bad taste in our mouth after we went 5 in a row. Even when we were winning the state championships, we thought it could get taken away by any day, any time.
The hardest thing you deal with is people getting complacent and thinking it just happens magically, and if they knew how much work these kids put in, obviously we're here on a holiday practicing and what goes into it, and just how hard it is to do what they've done.
It's no accident that the Panthers have had this much success on the field, and that standard is always stressed by Coach Daniel Novikov. But he also wants to make sure their approach to winning is applied to way more than just football.
The message I try to give them is it's really special to be a part of something bigger than yourself, that's what a football team is all about. And when you go on to be a husband and a father and all those other things, I think the lessons they get out of this and the skills they get out of this are invaluable.
Coming in every day kind of feels like you're talking with a friend, which sometimes he can get on you, but knowing that you always have someone to talk to, and he's also always a great-minded coach.
Coach Novikov is probably one of the best coaches I'll ever play for in my life, and he's just been such a help for me from the early recruiting process since I got here. He was one of those guys that, elevated my game and, taught me a lot of things about it.
Reporting at Parish Episcopal School, Johnny Resendez, CBS Sports Texas.
You saw Jalen Pyle there, the son of former Cowboy Willie Pyle, committed to Michigan. Parish Episcopal should make a long run in the TAPS playoffs again this year. We wrap up Friday Night Stars in just a moment.
Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. We're celebrating 75 years of giving the people exactly what they order, 24/7. That's the Whataburger way.
Final couple of minutes here of Friday Night Stars. Bill Jones with Hek'ma Harrison, District 6, 5A, Division 1. The standings look this way as Carrollton Creekview sits there at 6-0 in district play, 8-0 on the season. West Mesquite at 5-0, 6-1 on the season. Newman Smith at 5-0 in district and 5-2 on the season. And Hek'ma Harrison, by the way, has the opportunity this week, as I mentioned off the top of the show, to broadcast a couple of high school games this week. And one of those games is the Battle of District Unbeatens, the Wranglers of West Mesquite and the Mustangs of Creekview High School in Carrollton. And these are two programs that have been revived here in the last year or so.
Yes, they have, Bill. And I think Dusty Ortiz and Steven Jackson really deserve their flowers from the way that they have galvanized these two communities and student bodies, because they have them believing again. West Mesquite, they call themselves Jungle West, and that is because of Steven Jackson. He is off of the Coach Samples lineage of coaches, but Dusty Ortiz on the other side for Creekview. Look, these are two programs that were definitely struggling, but now someone's is going to go. This is going to be a tough matchup here pretty soon.
Just to give you an idea, West Mesquite, Steven Jackson takes over there last year. 2 years ago, they were 3-7, and they go 11-1 last year. They won the district championship with an 8-0 record. And Creekview, under Dusty Ortiz, they were winless in 2022 and 2023. He turns that program around. They go 8-3 last year, 6-2 in district play. And here, both these two teams are now unbeaten in district play going into the third to last weekend of the season.
That is incredible. And Dusty Ortiz has gotten it done a plethora of ways. He has so many formations that he deals with, and he has a quarterback to go with it. Kaysen Garcia has thrown for 1,900 yards and 21 touchdowns on this season. And when you start thinking about the Mustangs, he's the first name that comes up, because this young man did not play middle school football. His first football that he played was for the Mustangs, and I think Dusty Ortiz has his quarterback for the future.
All right, that does it for this week's edition of Friday Night Stars. For Hek'ma Harrison, I'm Bill Jones. Enjoy the games this week, and we'll see you again next week on Friday Night Stars.